The NBA draft is supposed to be the moment a franchise changes forever. But what if every team from 2000 to 2009 got a second chance?
Kenyon Martin from the University, Kwame Brown, LeBron James, Andrew Bogut, Greg Oden, Derek Rose, Blake Griffin, John Wall.
We go through all 10 NBA drafts from the 2000s and replace every #1 overall pick with the player who actually became the best in their class. From Kwame Brown versus Pau Gasol, to Greg Oden versus Kevin Durant, to the Clippers taking Blake Griffin over a player who would change basketball forever. The margin between a dynasty and a disaster is one name on one card. The rules are simple. We are looking strictly at the #1 overall pick. If the team got it right, the pick stays. If there was a clear, undeniable superstar left on the board, we rewrite history and force the draft card to change. We kick things off in the year 2000. The New Jersey Nets went with Kenyon Martin. Kmart was an absolute enforcer and a key piece to their finals runs. But he wasn't the best player in this legendary, albeit weak, draft class. That honor goes to the 43rd pick, Michael Redd.
43rd pick in the 2000 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Michael Redd from Ohio State University.
Redd became an elite, hyper-efficient sniper who averaged over 26 points a game at his peak. Put Redd on those early 2000s net squads next to Jason Kidd, that perimeter shooting takes New Jersey to an entirely different level. In 2001, the Washington Wizards and Michael Jordan famously selected high school phenom Kwame Brown #1 overall. It became one of the most scrutinized picks in NBA history.
Kwame Brown is gone. This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. The man cannot play the game of basketball.
In our timeline, the Wizards don't hesitate. They select Pau Gasol. Gasol was a polished, skilled 7-footer who immediately won Rookie of the Year. Pairing a young, fundamentally sound Pau Gasol with an aging Michael Jordan completely alters the final chapter of MJ's career. Washington becomes an instant playoff lock. In 2002, the Houston Rockets selected global icon Yao Ming. When healthy, Yao was an unstoppable force and a walking 20-10, but injuries tragically cut his prime short. If the Rockets wanted pure, unadulterated longevity and explosive power, they look at Amari Stoudemire. Amari was a pick-and-roll monster who wrecked rims for a decade. Do the Rockets stick with the global dominance of Yao or pivot to the athletic fury of Stat? We're giving the nod to Amari for the sheer physical dominance. In 2003, the Cleveland Cavaliers drafted LeBron James. There is no debate, no second guessing, and no redraft. They got it right. LeBron James entered the league with the highest expectations in sports history and somehow exceeded them. Moving on. In 2004, Orlando took high schooler Dwight Howard, who went on to become a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and led them to the finals. But if you look at the entire decade's landscape, a prime Andre Iguodala offered the ultimate wing versatility, playmaking, and championship DNA that every modern team craves.
With the game on the line, one shot, who would you rather have taking it?
Of everyone on Golden State, open shot, fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala.
While Dwight gave you a higher peak, Iggy gave you the perfect blueprint for a dynasty. Orlando builds completely differently here. In 2005, the Milwaukee Bucks chose Andrew Bogut #1 overall. Bogut was a rock-solid championship-level center, but Milwaukee passed on a generational floor general. Chris Paul was sitting right there. CP3 instantly transforms any franchise he touches into an elite contender. Put a young, hungry point guard in Milwaukee, and the entire Eastern Conference hierarchy is shattered for the next 10 years. The Toronto Raptors shocked the world in 2006 by taking Andrea Bargnani first overall, hoping for the next Dirk Nowitzki. Instead, they missed out on a model of elite post consistency, LaMarcus Aldridge. Aldridge was a walking mid-range bucket and a multi-time All-Star who would have given the Raptors an elite scoring foundation years ahead of schedule. In 2007, Portland made one of the most heartbreaking choices in basketball history. Greg Oden had all the tools to be a legendary, dominant center, but his knees simply wouldn't let him. Knowing how history unfolds, the Trailblazers changed the course of the NBA forever by drafting Kevin Durant, a 7-foot sniper with guard skills. Putting a young KD in a Portland jersey alongside Brandon Roy, that is an immediate Western Conference dynasty in the making. In 2008, the Chicago Bulls select hometown hero Derrick Rose. D. Rose became the youngest MVP in league history and was an absolute cultural phenomenon before injuries took over. If the Bulls wanted an Iron Man who would give them a decade of historic, explosive triple-doubles, they take Russell Westbrook. It's an agonizing choice between peak electricity and absolute competitive longevity. And finally, 2009. The Los Angeles Clippers took Blake Griffin. Lob City was incredibly fun, and Blake was a human highlight reel. But the Clippers passed on a scrawny guard from Davidson who would literally rewrite the rules of basketball: Stephen Curry. If the Clippers take Steph Curry #1 overall, the Golden State Warriors dynasty never exists. The three-point revolution starts in LA, and the Clippers become the most dominant franchise of the 2000s. 10 drafts, 10 massive alternate realities. The difference between a multi-ring dynasty and a decade of regret always comes down to a single name on a single card. Which of these draft flips changes the NBA the most? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to What If Sports HQ.